104.5 The Team, your home for New York Yankees baseball. On the phone, our good friend Buster Olney. Buster, of course, the man when it comes to baseball. And Buster, have you ever seen a team give worse run support to a pitcher than what the Yankees do for Sonny Gray?
I'm sure that I have at some point. You remember for years it seemed like Matt Cain was that guy for the Giants, where every box score you check and you're like, yep, Matt Cain allowed one run or he allowed no runs, and they got nothing for him. But it is kind of funny because if you were Sonny Gray and you're joining the Yankees, you think that probably is the one thing you don't have to worry about. The Yankees typically very prolific and great ballpark for left-handed sluggers, and yet it hasn't happened. I would say this: I mean, he's absolutely justified early on the high price that the Yankees paid for him, and they got 2 more years of him.
Buster Olney with us right now. 104.5 The Team.
Is he overworking the bullpen right now, or is Aroldis Chapman going to be that guy as the closer role going forward?
I don't know, how it's going to turn out. It does feel weird that it seems like that the bullpen has its share of issues, and when you look at the individuals in the group that Joe has to choose from, between Aroldis Chapman and Chad Green and Dellin Betances and David Robertson, it just seems weird to me that they're having issues. Like you feel like that, and on a given day, like they had against Tampa Bay on Wednesday, that he should just choose 2 or 3 guys and go almost in like units. One day you get Team A, and the next day you go Team B, and yet it seems like day after day after day, all of these guys are either warming up or they're pitching. It felt, and you could see in the reaction of Dellin Betances when he got taken out of the game for Chapman on Wednesday, that he wasn't exactly wild about this choice, that there's a better way to sort it out. Because it doesn't seem like that the full power of that bullpen has really been has come to the fore.
Buster with us. So, Buster, when you look at the way it's being used, it's obviously the strength of the Yankees right now. Is he misusing it so bad that it could cost them a prolonged trip to the postseason?
Well, you wonder, and I think it's an open question, to be honest with you. I mean, they're so deep, and once you get into the postseason, you have the days off built in. If in fact the Yankees advance beyond the wild card game. But it just seems like that there's potentially better and more efficient ways to use the bullpen. As I say, I think what Joe needs to do is to make up his mind, okay, I'm going to trust this guy with this situation rather than constantly getting guys up in the bullpen and wind up putting himself in a situation where he's using 4 and 5.
Buster, I know when the season started, you were quoted as saying something to the effect of, the Indians are just at a different level, and now they certainly are making that look really true. How the heck are they doing this?
Yeah, and I'll qualify this by saying I picked the Blue Jays to win the American League East, and I picked the Mariners to win the American League West, but I also picked the Indians to win the World Series. Look, they are the best team in baseball right now, and I've never seen a period of dominance from a team the way that they've had during this winning streak. When you think about the numbers that they're generating, a run differential over 21 games of 104. During this stretch, their team has hit 41 home runs, and they've allowed a total of 35 runs. So as a team, they have more home runs than total runs that they've allowed. In the first 3 innings of games, they've outscored teams 68-13. So if they were boxers, they'd be throwing knockouts in rounds 1, 2, and 3. And the funny thing is that they don't have Andrew Miller yet. They're going to have him back here probably in the next few days. They don't have Jason Kipnis back yet. They haven't had, Jay Bruce completely healthy throughout this run, or Jose Ramirez throughout the run. They've only had one player appear in all 21 of these games. It really is amazing, and I don't think there's any question that they're going to go into the postseason as the team to beat.
You bring up that boxer comparison there, and it's kind of, some people would ask, are they using too much in the early rounds? Are they peaking too soon? You don't feel that way, okay?
No, not at all. And I actually think that all these little milestones or goals that are in front of them, I think have been really useful. The other day when I was around the Indians, because we had them on Sunday Night Baseball, Terry Francona, when you'd ask him about the streak, boy, he couldn't change the conversation faster. And I don't think it was superstition as much as I just want to, his mentality was, I want to stay in the moment, and I like how my players are staying in the moment. But Josh Tomlin, who's one of the starters, told me, yeah, we're talking about it a little bit. And 2 weeks ago, when they started to see that they were getting to within range of the Astros for the best record in the American League, which would have been unthinkable three months ago, now they have that. Now they actually legitimately have a chance to pass the Dodgers for best record in baseball, which would give them home field advantage for the World Series. Breaking the American League record for consecutive wins. Now they're approaching the Major League record for consecutive wins, which is 26 by the 1916 New York Giants. I think all those are valuable to go through that. And I think once they get into the postseason, that's when you'll see last year's frustration of losing Game 7 in the 10th inning will turn out to be a weapon for them.
Do you think there's any team in the American League that could actually upset them and represent the American League instead of them?
Well, sure. Each of the teams, the Red Sox, the Astros would have a chance. But I actually think that if the Yankees get past the wild card game, among the other teams in the American League, that they would have the best chance to beat the Indians because of their bullpen, because the matchups that Joe Girardi would have, and because they have, like the Red Sox, starting pitcher in Luis Severino, who can go toe-to-toe with Corey Kluber. He can fight him to a draw in the first 6 innings. They've got the relievers who can dominate the later innings, and they've got enough offense to throw out 2 or 3 home runs in a given game, surprise the Indians. But I mean, my goodness, right now they're so good.
I stopped listening after you said that you thought the Yankees could do it.
Okay. I understand.
One team who hasn't been great is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Have they figured this out? Are they going to be able to right this ship?
They feel like it. I know that. Kershaw went out and had a good outing. Yu Darvish against the Giants on Wednesday, 7 scoreless innings. The big thing for me is they have to get the starting pitching in order. And if you look at what Alex Wood has done lately, what Rich Hill has done lately, I think that's an open question. Darvish had a great outing last night, but it was against a bad Giants team. He's been up and down. Will he be more consistent? I do think that that this team definitely has demonstrated some vulnerability in that regard. And when they face the Nationals, Washington, if they see them in the postseason, that's a club that can run out Steven Strasburg, 34 straight scoreless innings, Max Scherzer, Gio Gonzalez. The Diamondbacks have beaten the Dodgers in the last 6 games those two teams have played. They've outscored them 40-13. So they're going to play with a lot of confidence. The Cubs are defending champions. I don't know if the Dodgers can get back on the track that they were on before they get to the end of this season.
Buster with us right now on 104.5 The Team. So I'm watching the Indians-Tigers game.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that just shows you how much the Indians are doing. I'm even paying attention. The catcher, the manager get kicked. They throw a pitch. The new catcher's completely out of place. The ump gets Wolcott gets smacked in the shoulder. Was that on purpose, and have you ever seen anything like that before?
I don't think so. Watching the physical reaction of the catcher, the way that he jabbed his glove at the pitch, and then went out and talked to the pitcher. I think that it was a cross-up. And when Brad Ausmus, the manager, was asked after the game about it, he was offended by what was said on the Indians broadcast. And I have known Brad Ausmus for 25 years. He goes, "Look, that's ridiculous," and I can't believe anyone would even suggest it. I will say this, and you saw this, if you read the lips of the umpires, he's being held back up. That was his question to his colleagues. They did that on purpose, right? If you read his lips. So I have my opinion. The umpire certainly had some doubt about it.
Buster, Olney, where are you going to be this weekend?
We are going to be in Washington. We got the Dodgers and the Nationals, and it looks like we're going to get Steven Strasburg on Sunday. As I mentioned, 34 straight consecutive scoreless innings for Strasburg. I think that what we're seeing right now is the best Strasburg that we've ever seen because he's got 3 pitches working.
That's saying something. Goz and I are going to be at the stadium on Saturday for we're doing a Bust of the Bronx. It's his beloved Orioles versus my beloved Yankees. He's got no shot, right?
Oh, that's the question?
Levack, don't count your chickens.
All right. Well, I had a couple counted. Buster, man, we appreciate you. Safe travels this weekend. Look forward to talking to you next week.
See you guys.